And we're back. Got some fluid in me. Just doing a little riding around today. As you can see, it's a beautiful day. Ha ha. Been itching to ride all weekend. It's been raining, as you can see. So I figured I'd get out and probably have 4 or 5 hours to get out and play. Before it gets nasty again. You got to take advantage, you know, especially when it's January. It's actually looking good for the next week. Somewhere in the 60s. I tell you, this bike just wants to go. You gotta keep it reserved on these city streets, of course. Don't want to get a ticket. Yeah, so we're just doing a little riding around today, testing out the GoPro. This is the first time I've had a mic on the GoPro, so I have no idea what it sounds like really. But it should be good. I've been wanting to do this for a while. Just haven't had the opportunity. I'll slide up in here for a second. So yeah, let's talk about the FJ09 for a minute. So I've had it for probably about a year now, maybe not quite a year. Man, this bike is amazing. I've done a lot of custom add-ons to it. The stock seat's horrible. For those of you who are looking for an FJ09, the stock seat is just terrible. I mean, I've ridden for 30 minutes and my ass is killing me after 30 minutes. So I went with the Corbin. You know, a lot of people say the Corbin's ugly or doesn't have, you know, looks like an old 80s Harley bike seat, but personally I think it looks pretty sweet. You know, you can customize it exactly the way you want. I think the stitching in it probably is what gives it that bad reputation. But maybe I'll stop here and give the bike a walk around in a minute. I also changed out the stock windshield. It was also horrible. I tried riding with earplugs. You know, I have a Shoei RF 1200 helmet. It's one of the most quietest helmets you can get, and even with that, it was deafening. I mean, I would get to wherever I was going and just be completely deaf when I got there. So fellow FJ09 rider Mike Motorbike, how you doing, brother? Bought the V-Stream, and he's the one actually that turned me on to it, and it's great. Gotta say, it's great. For me, I felt like I needed a little bit more. You know, I'd get a little bit of buffeting on it, not much, but you know, enough on a cold day or whatnot, or a really windy day. It would affect my helmet. I mean, it was hitting just the top of my helmet. So I bought this Puig deflector here, and works really well. And you know, the good part about this thing in the summertime is you can angle it down, and it shoots the wind directly into your face. So on those hot days, especially here in North Carolina, it really cools you off. But yeah, I got the new windscreen. I added the deflector. I did put the side bags on. That is a definite plus to have, especially if you travel and like to travel, which I do, hope to do more of. But they're really nice. I had some Core-Tech 2.0 soft bags to begin with, but they're not waterproof. So, you know, on a day like today, if you had a pretty bad downpour, all your stuff would be soaked. So yeah, added those. I did get a top box. There's a guy on YouTube has a FJ09 like mine. His name's Eli, I think, and I have the same top box as he does. And hey, buddy. And it works really well. It's not too big. It doesn't stick out, you know, like a sore thumb. It fits really well. And let's see, what else have I added? I think that's it. You know, just adding those few little mods has completely transformed this bike. I mean, I can travel any distance and do it comfortably, especially with the seat. The seat is so comfortable. I mean, it took a little while to break in, but after it broke in, super comfortable. I mean, I can ride 8 hours and ride all day long. When I get off, I feel like I've been riding in a Cadillac all day. It's just that comfortable. So, Corbin, you're awesome. Thank you. You know, some of the other things I really love about this bike is the seating position. So I'm definitely not one to be slumped over a tank on a sport bike. I've sat on a few, I've ridden a couple. They're just not comfortable to me. I prefer the upright seating position like this, especially on a long distance ride. It really, really helps out. It's just very very comfortable seating position. The power. Let's talk about the engine. I got one word: wow. I mean, this bike pulls like no other bike I've been on. You know, if this bike didn't have traction control, it would be something else to try to keep that front wheel down, because that's all it wants to do when you turn it off. I mean, that front end just wants to come up on you. It's just got so much torque, and even with the traction control on, if you hammer it hard enough, it still comes off the ground a little bit. You know, maybe a foot off the ground or so. And it'll do it right on through first, second, third gear. So the power is absolutely amazing on this bike. Very smooth bike. I know the FJ09 had the twitchy throttle. FJ09 does not have it. They really got that out. So that was a big plus for this bike. I've ridden a couple other friends' bikes. My brother actually has a Kawasaki 1400 Concours. That's a super sweet bike. I think ultimately, in the long haul, that's a very comfortable bike. It has a seating position that's upright, similar, for a little bit of a forward lean, but it's very planted and it rides very well. If I had a choice, it would probably be second bike. It would probably be either that or an FJ09. Phenomenal. You know, I hadn't ridden them before on a motorcycle, and gosh, how much fun did I have on that? It's amazing. Actually looking forward to doing it again soon. Actually planning a trip to Cape Hatteras coming up soon. That should be fun. Wintertime trip. You know, it'll be a little warmer hopefully down at the coast. But yeah, so back to the bike. You know, FJ09 has the 6-speed transmission, which is good. The 6 gear on this is kind of you know, it's just like throwing it in overdrive. You don't get a whole lot of difference. You probably drop 1,000 RPMs maybe when you're doing 70, 80, whatever. I think it's definitely an 80 mile per hour gear. Anything slower than that, you're fine in 5th. But I do like the 6-speed transmission. It definitely helps on the gas mileage. I do wish I had the slipper clutch. I think that's the 2017 FJ09 has the slipper clutch, which would be very nice to have. I don't know if it's doable to switch and put that in this bike. I gotta assume it is. It's the exact same engine, so it should just swap out. Look at that. I mean, the low speed handling on this bike. I mean, I can almost come to a complete stop and still balance the bike. It's just so well balanced. Very easily maneuverable. It's it doesn't weigh that much, 460 or something like that. But yeah, I took the test on this bike, and God, it was just so easy to maneuver the figure 8 on this bike for the test. If you guys can borrow one to take the test with, I highly recommend it. Busy day for a Sunday. Of course, I guess this is 12 o'clock peak time right now. Everybody's getting out of church and going to get some grub, which I need to do at some point. Hey, there's a turn lane, buddy. That's what they make turn lanes for. So yeah, love the bike. Love the FJ09. I really can't see myself having another bike. Simply just because it's, especially after the mods I've done to it, it's just so comfortable. To me, it's more comfortable than pretty much any bike I've sat on. It's now the Corbin seat, I will say, for you shorter people like me, I'm 5'9", and I cannot flat foot this bike with the Corbin seat on it. I'm on the balls of my feet, so it did raise it up probably an inch at least, which is okay. It's I know you can get the lowering links for this bike and stuff like that, but I think I read it was only like maybe a half an inch that it lowers it. So that's a lot of money and a lot of work to lower a half inch. I just don't really see the need in doing it. So I don't have any problems at 5'9", but it's totally worth the seat. Totally worth putting the seat on. That completely transformed this bike. I also have the heated version, which let me tell you guys, on a cold day, there's just nothing like having your buns warm on a long ride. We recently went up to Asheville, and I think the temperature actually that day was like 33 degrees, and that was without the wind chill. So like a northeast wind that day. Blowing like 20 miles an hour, and we rode in those frigid temps, and I tell you, if I hadn't had this heated seat, I think I would have gone back and had frozen buns. So I recommend that for sure. I can tell these people are like, what is on his helmet? What is that? Here, I'll get you on camera. Yeah, so anyway, gotta say I love the bike. Definitely see myself having this for a long time. So one thing I think next I'm going to add to this bike that I don't have is the heated grips. That's something that I have tried on other bikes, and I gotta say, wow, that feels good. I actually have some heated gloves. It's the Fly Igniter Pro, I think it's what they're called, and they work pretty good. They'll keep your hands warm, especially, it could be freezing, 20 degrees, whatever. They keep your hands warm, but not like hot. So that's the only downfall, And when you're riding, 80 miles an hour and it's 40 or below, I think heated grips really do help out a lot. I know they don't help the top, so one thing I probably will look into is how well will they work with heated gloves and heated grips, if it's really cold. Because me, I like to ride. It doesn't matter what temperature is. If it's 20 degrees outside and sunny or like this, I'll ride. I enjoy riding. So but yeah, heated grips. Other FJ09 rider, Eli, he's got a video on how to install them, and I've seen it several times. It's a great video. Very detailed, goes through all the steps, tells you how to do it. So probably do that in the next month or so. I think it'd be totally worth it. It's not really that cold here for very long. I know people like my buddy Mike up in Michigan. I hate it for you, brother. I know it gets cold and it stays cold for a long time. Get the snow on the ground, stays there. Get the salt on the roads. But I think he's still riding even, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, it doesn't really get that cold here for long. You make it past February. Usually in March, it's warming back up. I gotta say, this year here in North Carolina, it's been fairly warm. We've had one snowstorm so far. That is just awesome. Love doing that. But yeah, so it hasn't been very, very cold here. Mild temps. I think next week's in the 60s all week long. So that's pretty cool. So if you could just make it through March, or even February, you're back in the 60s, low 50s, 60s. That's great riding weather in my opinion. I recently made a trip to Hotel the Dragon, and that day I think it was 100 degrees. It was miserable. Oh my goodness, it was miserable. I mean, you couldn't walk 20 feet without just a full-blown sweat. It's crazy how hot it was there that day. Humidity was 100% without rain, and it was just like a rainforest. Yeah, but anyway, so heated grips, hopefully, something I'd like to do. Other than that, I really can't imagine anything that I'd like to do to this bike. After that, I've read about the suspension and this, that, and the other, but honestly, in my opinion, it's not that bad. I mean, I haven't even messed with the stock settings yet, so I don't know how good it can get. I assume it can get a lot better. I did add some rebound to it, but that's all I've done. I did loosen the rear shock up just to make it a little more comfortable on the longer trips. But yeah, other than that, I'd say it's fairly good. So I'm gonna take a break here and I'll be back soon. over to see a good friend of mine. Haven't seen in a while. Always a pleasure to see this guy. One of the first people I got to meet when I moved here to the middle of the state, Mr. Evans. So yeah, big game day today. Steelers, Patriots. Should be an interesting game. I hate to call who's going to win, but I gotta say probably more than likely the Patriots. So yeah, you know, it's nice to get a ride in today. I didn't actually think I was going to have a chance to ride this weekend, so kind of nice. Nice scenery out here. There's a little bar up here on the right, Brightwood, I think it's what it's called. Yeah, right here. You go in this place and it's like all leather couches, smoke filled, rolling out of the door as soon as you open it. And I might be wrong about this, but I think someone told me Elvis had been there. Anyway, I'm not sure about that, but so yeah, Brightwood. God, it really feels good out here today. 57 degrees right now. It's like summertime. So anyway, you guys, hope you're having a good day. Hope you liked the video. If you do, give me a like. Comments are always welcome. Hopefully nothing but good comments. Little golfing community. This is a great golf course, by the way. For those of you who play golf, it's awesome. It's not very easy, but it's a fun course. So yeah. Anyway, have a great Sunday, guys. Actually, you will not be watching this on a Sunday, but whatever day you decide to watch this, have a good one.